I think we're asking the wrong question about AI. I think too many people are asking, how do I use this? But the real question that should be asked is, how do I typically like to solve problems? I've noticed a pattern lately, just a personal theory, that if you have a good relationship with leverage, meaning you've had talented and capable people around you in the past that you've been able to hand the ball to confidently, and they took the ball and gave it back to you in a better condition than it was given to them, you probably have a very good relationship with leverage because you had a good experience with it, and you're probably more likely to embrace or lean in on this AI. If on the other hand, you are used to being the person that everyone can rely on to get things done, the person who does it all themselves, the person who says, I might as well do it because I've been doing it longer than anybody else, I can do it faster than anybody else, I can do it better than anybody else, so I'm just gonna do it. You probably don't have a great relationship with leverage in your history. And I don't think you're gonna lean into AI like you should because you've never had a great leveraged relationship that you can rely on that's paved the way for you to trust AI today. Now, couple that with the idea that a lot of us have built careers prior to AI ever existing, which means that when we had a problem to solve, we looked at it internally with our own brains and said, how do I solve this? Or how can our team solve this? Or how can our business solve this? And we start thinking about how to solve it first, because we didn't have another option. Fast forward to today, and you've got people growing up professionally in this world with AI at their fingertips, and they're not thinking, how do I solve this? How does my business solve? How does my team solve this? They're not relying on their own brain power, except they're thinking, how do I get AI to solve this for me? And they're thinking leveraged right out of the box. And they don't think about using their brain to solve a problem. They're thinking about using their brain to use a tool to solve a problem. And it makes them dangerously competitive because of their natural ability to embrace AI. So if you did not grow up professionally in this world today and you grew up in a previous time, your challenge is to find the leverage mindset that you need to trust and rely on AI. The people that are using it are not trying to be all things to everyone. They're just trying to get the most things done. So when you think about all of this in the context of what I've been teaching for years, the energy quadrant, if AI can buy back a maximum of 70 to 80% of your time, that's a gift. And it's a gift if used properly, allows you to take that savings of time and pour your energy back into the multiply quadrant, focusing only on the things that matter most in your world and your business, and create the greatest results with the least amount of effort. Now, a lot of you might take some of this time savings and spend more of your time in the add quadrant, doing things that are important and doing things that need to happen, but they're not the most important and they're not the most productive things that you can do. And you're not going to benefit from this because you're not trading time for productivity of living in the multiply quadrant. It's an interesting question. So the question I ask you again is, when was the last time you had great leverage? What did that look like? Who was the person that you gave things to? How often did you rely on them and use them? Now think about using AI and figuring out how you can take that experience and parlay that into trusting a new tool that can be more efficient and a more talented and more capable source of leverage for you than anything you've ever experienced before. So the question you have to ask yourself is, am I going to commit myself to being the person who does it all, or am I willing to grow and give up the anchor of an old mindset and be the person who's committed to figuring out how to get the most done? Because the answer to that question is two different people, and you have to decide which one you want to become.